Welcome to part 3 in our Oprah-Anti-Christ series. So next let's look at the idea, okay, that the Christ and the Antichrist are the same thing. Okay, talk about integrating. Now it takes a high level of consciousness to see this. It takes the Christ mind itself to see, but that's the mind that arises in us as we fully integrate these parts of ourselves. The only reason we don't see the whole picture is because we would continue to maintain the illusion of separation, or the illusion of there being irreconcilable parts that can't fit together. Again, the Christ mind is a part of us that sees beyond the illusion, beyond the veil, beyond the space-time continuum. And once you break down the space-time continuum, you actually can see things in a radically different way. Okay, and it really helps us. It's like seeing a whole lifetime in the nucleus of a moment. If you can see and that's what eventually each of us need to do in our journey, is get down to that elemental level of awareness where we see that all along through the seemingly disparate parts of our lives, there was one thing going on. Okay, and this is breakthrough consciousness. But the ability to see, okay, Christ and the Antichrist as the same thing, you can just look again at the metaphor. Okay, you have this metaphor in the Christian world of, Jesus as the avatar, as the awakened Christ mind. And then you see this other element called Satan, which was in the myth the angel Michael, the highest of all the angels in the legion of angels, being cast out of heaven because he desired too much power, and then he would become the king of the underworld and a dark force in this world. Okay, this again is maintaining this illusion of separation or dichotomy, that there's good and evil that are in opposition to each other. Well, that's only a low level of consciousness can maintain that illusion. At a higher level of awareness, you see that everything, evil could not obstruct good any more than darkness can obstruct light. And anyone that really understands the principle of darkness and light understands that darkness is simply the absence of light. Okay, once you bring light into the darkness, darkness disappears. It has no substance of itself. Okay, the same can be said to be true for evil. Okay, evil, there's nothing to evil. We make up the idea that it has energy of its own. Evil is simply the absence of love. Okay, it's like darkness is the absence of light. Evil is the absence of love. So someone in a very separated state has the capacity to do things that we would call evil. Simply they're doing things out of a place of great separation from love, or in a place of hatred, okay, self-hatred, and then projected out onto others. But the essence of hatred is simply lack of love. Okay? And anyone that studied with any master comes to hear eventually the teaching that says the only way that you can address hatred or lack of love that's going to bring any solution is with love. Okay? So again, the Christ mind in ourselves would approach the Antichrist mind in ourselves or in another with love, with acceptance, with this embrace that suddenly brings everything into this oneness or into neutrality, and there's no problem. Okay? It's only, again, this part of the mind that we call the ego that wants to keep the conflict or keep the problem intact. The solution is readily in front of us. The solution to this whole dilemma of the fundamentalist traditional Christian world that would call Oprah, that would call certain things evil and want to maintain the illusion of evil, the only way to approach that will bring it into a solution is with love, is with this greater awareness, this Christ consciousness. Okay? So this is what I'm calling for us to do in this situation, is to look at the fundamentalist Christian perspective in this elevated, more awakened consciousness that would see it as a beautiful and necessary reaction to what's happening in the world. As the transformation of consciousness is happening, as we're accelerating into this amazingly exciting time, naturally, this old part of us, okay, this part of the tribal mind, okay, that is resisting this transformation, resisting the change. It's simply afraid of changes. It's afraid of being left behind. I mean, look at one of the real powerful fundamentalist Christian stories, okay, the whole Left Behind series. I mean, there's a deep fear in them that they will be left behind, that only certain ones will ascend and the others will be left behind. It's just this beautiful, lovely, childish story, okay, that everybody fears. I had my own nightmares as a child of my family being on this raft and I'm in the water in the big storm and I'm trying to swim to them and I see, my dad's pulling the raft and I see him, we make eye contact and I think, oh good, he sees me, he'll come rescue me. Well, in fact, he's pulling away from me. He wants to leave me behind. That was a part of my terror as a child, that I was being left behind by my own family. That's part of all of our humanity, that we have this fear because we've actually left the kingdom, that we were castigated, that we were cast out, that we were banished from the kingdom. That never happened. Okay, so we're resolving this conflict. We're resolving this. We resolve this through a higher level of awareness that says, I was pushed away from my family so that I could be on this powerful spiritual path and come into a high level of awakening in my life. They did me this favor. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, everybody who pushed me away, who alienated me, who forced me to go deeper to find my salvation. Otherwise, I would have had to follow the path of my younger sister and commit suicide and all of that, but I didn't, because I was able to go deeper and recognize at a deeper level, eventually with gratitude, the favor that this family system did for me. Okay, we need to recognize collectively that we've always been done a favor by those who have appeared the most evil, that have appeared to bring more of this darkness into our world. Well, they're bringing the darkness so that we can see it into the light, so we can heal it. Okay, these are all saviors, all these people that we would want to label as evil. Okay, everybody serves at one level or another. Everybody is serving as teacher, as angel, as friend, as savior. And it's really important that we learn this lesson, that anybody in your life that is giving you the greatest challenges, they are your greatest savior. They are your greatest teacher. They're giving you the greatest opportunities that you will ever have to remember that part of you that's beyond annihilation, that's beyond devastation, that's beyond hatred, that's beyond a total lack of love. Beyond that devastation, there's a deep place of peace. And you're asked to find this deep place of peace. And the people that have been seemingly banishing you from the kingdom have been the very ones that have been the agents of love, the agents serving God, serving the divine love itself to bring you back, to get you to that place where beyond the seeming annihilation, you'll recognize, wait a minute, there's a part of me that has never been changed. There's a part of me that's never been touched by this seeming annihilation, by this devastation, that as my humanity fully rises up and it appears to be, I appear at this level of my humanity to be so wretched and so unlovable. I remember years ago in treatment saying to God, please forgive me, please, love this wretch of a human being that doesn't deserve love at all. And this voice came clear as day saying, there's nothing to forgive. I have always loved you. We have always been loved, no matter what, in spite of anything. There's nothing we ever could have done that would have stopped this universal principle of love from embracing us. This is our spiritual destiny. This is our reality. This is the inheritance that we brought into this world, and we're here to claim together, collectively. Let's get beyond this childish game of he said, she said, and he's right, he's wrong, he's whatever. We're ready now. This is what I'm here to be a part of, and there's many others that are a part of the same teaching, that we're rising above the battlefield, that we're getting beyond the illusion, beyond the dream, and we're seeing things more clearly. The way Eckhart says it, of course, as the caterpillar is heading into its dysfunction, as part of the transformation of becoming a butterfly, of course there's parts of it that really resist this. It looks like bad news for the caterpillar. For most of that caterpillar, it looks like death to Smoochie. Well, guess what? We are evolving into a beautiful, magnificent butterfly, individually and collectively, and we need to embrace this seeming dichotomy and move beyond it, because where we're moving toward There is no dichotomy. There's only the oneness. There's only that elemental oneness that brings us all together, that we can all feel connected with each other. So we're here to explore that and really do our deep work of forgiveness and letting go, okay, fully doing the reversal and rising up in this new level of consciousness that can look upon anyone as brother or sister, anyone as friend, anyone, everyone, especially those who give us the greatest challenges. They are our greatest teachers, our greatest saviors. And with that, for this section, I will say au revoir.